Now in this video, what we're exploring is, instead of having one set of eighth beats like we did in the last video, we're going to have two sets of eighth beats. So a rhythm may go 1, 2 and 3, 4 and. Okay, so looking at pattern 1, hopefully you've got the sheet there. It really makes it a lot easier if you do. For the purposes of this, we're always going to be going from a G chord, however you want to do it. If you're doing it this way, it really doesn't matter, to an E minor. I do suggest with the E minor to use the middle and ring finger rather than these fingers, but it's up to you. So G to E minor, G for 2 bars, E minor for 2 bars. So let's have a look at the first rhythm. Now what's going to happen is it's always going to introduce the index finger, the first finger that we're going to be using. So we're going to go index, ring, and then we're going to go middle. But the first time the thumb is going to stay on the same bass note, always on the thickest string normally. And then with the second pattern, the thumb will be moving. So let's say we're going to do the index, the first pattern, the thumb stays the same, and then the second pattern, the thumb moves from the E to the A. But I'll take you through that in just a second, and that's going to happen with the others. So that's why there's 6 in this series. Once again, my metronome is still at 80 BPM. I'll turn that on in just a second, but first of all, let's have a look at the beat. So it's thumb on the bass note, thumb on the D, then index, and then that repeats. And the beat, you hear it's very different. 1, 2 and 3, 4 and 1, 2 and 3, 4 and. So there's, in comparison to the last video, there's more eighth beats and there's less space, because the last video was 1, 2, 3, 4 and we've now got this happening a lot more often. 2 and 3, 4 and then with the E minor, it's still thumb skipping down. It's the same picking pattern. So let's have a go with the metronome at 80. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2 and 3, 4 and 1. Let's repeat that. Okay, good. So next, the rhythm is exactly the same, but the thumb on beat 3 is changing. So listen, 1, 2 and 3, 4 and. So you hear that that thumb moves down to the A string. So it goes thumb, thumb on the D, index, thumb on the A, thumb on the D, index. Okay, so with the E minor, same picking pattern, thumb on the A. And let's have a listen to that with the metronome. 2, 3, 4. Repeat. Always a good idea to repeat these lines. So as you can hear, in comparison to the last video, it's starting to sound more like a Travis picking pattern that you might recognise. So pattern 3 and pattern 4, it's the same rhythm. Once again, it's always 1, 2 and 3, 4 and. So that's the rhythm we're going to be using throughout all of this. But we're using the ring finger now. So thumb on the thickest, thumb on the D, ring on that 3rd fret on the thinnest string that we're holding down because it's a G chord. For E minor, thumb on the thickest, thumb on D, ring. And then we'll be moving the thumb and the bass note when we get into pattern 4. But let's do pattern 3, 2, 3, 4. E minor. And what we're going to do is we're going to continue into pattern 4. So pattern 4 is just exactly the same thing, but the thumb is moving. So it's thumb, thumb on D, then thumb on A, rather than returning to the thickest string. Okay, so that's pattern 3 and 4. Finally, pattern 5, it's exactly the same thing, but we're just using the middle finger instead. So it's 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, into E minor. So I think you're getting it by now. So we're going to do pattern 5 and pattern 6 back to back. 1, 2, 3, 4, thumb static, staying on thickest. E minor. Pattern 6, thumb moving, moved. Now this is entirely optional, but I'm going to put it in the video anyway. I'm now going to play every single pattern from pattern 1 to pattern 6 without resting. I'm not going to be repeating lines, just going all the way through. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4.